Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason Kokenzie with Building Wealth Now. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great day. Hope the new year is always going well for you. My name is Jason Kokenzie, the host of Building Wealth Now, and looking forward to today's topics of conversation. If you're new here, look at the description. Make sure you jump on there and jump into each of those places. Follow me. Go to the different links out there. Would love for you to do that. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. This channel is all about modern finances as well, and most importantly, residual income, online businesses. Been doing this for a long time now and love what's going on there. Guys, one of the things I'm very excited about right now, as far as the world of the internet and social media, is a new app that's been out for a few months, but I've just been able to engage and dive more into, is a app called ClubHouse. My link is in the description. You can go check it out, or at least my username, but go ahead. ClubHouse app is only on Apple platforms. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, you can go out there. Eventually, at some point in time, it will be with the entire platforms of Android as well. But right now, it's only Apple, and it's only by invite. But if you happen to be able to get in there, this is a gold mine. I call it kind of like an interactive podcast where there's speakers, but at the same time, there's also a bunch of people who can ask questions. It's really one of the coolest things. I'm very excited about it. Looking forward to really just making some big headway in business in the world of ClubHouse. And so ultimately, I would love for you guys to get on there. Go ahead and follow me, and I'd love to have you on there. Go to the other different pages, Instagram, et cetera, as well as iteachfreedom.com. And if you're a person who says, I would really love to be in business, I Teach Freedom is the place to go to. And if you especially want to be an online business, guys. So today we're going to talk about something I think is very important for you guys to understand, something that you need to know in regards to the world of online business, and not just online business, but business in general, that it's important for you to make sure that you understand the way business structures work. And if you've ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad's book, Robert Kiyosaki, it is an eye-opening game. So if there's a book recommendation for you, I recommend that you read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, because it goes through something that we call the cash flow quadrants. And it's very important for you to understand that, because if you're going to be in business, if you're going to learn about business structure, financial structure, it's very important for you to jump into the understanding of this, what we call cash flow quadrant. Ultimately, cash flow quadrant is really 4 quadrants of the economy and how you belong in them. So the 4 quadrants go like this. The first quadrant is an employee. The second quadrant is a self-employed. The third quadrant is what we call a business owner. And a fourth quadrant is what we call an investor. And it's important for us to all know what quadrant that we belong to, because if we don't understand the quadrants, it's really hard to make our personal economy grow. And so it's important for you to know what quadrant you're in. If you want to create your own economy, there's really only 2 of the quadrants that you can be in that are really going to give you a place that you can create your own economy. So the first one, employee, we're going to get to the main point here in just a minute, but I want to go through these because these are super important. Because if you don't understand this, I'm telling you, you're missing a big point in your life if you don't understand the cash flow quadrant. The first one is employee. Employee means that you have a job. And I would say 90+%, probably 95, 96, 97% of the world is an employee. The second one is a self-employed. So an employee has a job. A self-employed person, get this, because this is so incredibly crucial. I think so many people really misunderstand what a self-employed person is. So a self-employed person is that they, here it is, own a job. You own a job. And this is important for you really in the rest of this conversation that we're going to have today, as well as in life, creating your own economy. It is something that you absolutely need to know. A self-employed person owns a job. The third person is a true business owner. Okay? A true business owner. This is important for you to understand the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner. Now, I'm going to get the difference here in just a second, but before I do that, let's go to the last quadrant, which is the I quadrant. So you have E, S-E, and then B, and then I. I stands for investor, the investor quadrant. This is a person who is in the investment world. They make an investment into whether it's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, other businesses, et cetera, et cetera. But they invest the money. And that is the most challenging quadrant of all. Even millionaires and billionaires often, especially when it comes to stock market, don't do a great job in it. So we're not going to talk about the investment quadrant. I'm not saying don't invest. That's certainly not what I'm saying. I invest. I encourage you to invest. I think it's an important thing for you guys to understand that. But when all is said and done, one of the things I really recommend that you understand is the difference between a self-employed person and employed person. So let's talk about self-employment for just a second before we get to the business quadrant here. What is a self-employed person? Well, guys, I'll be honest with you. I'd much rather be self-employed than be an employee, right? Because there is a little bit of flexibility with time and things like that. But what we often say is a person who's an employee has a job. A person who's self-employed owns a job. And often what we say is, I don't know if it's really joking or not, because it's kind of not. It's not that you own a job, but really that the job owns you. And let me explain what I mean by that. The job owns you. For those of you who are self-employed, you're probably saying, yeah, that's right. Preach it, right? So a person who is self-employed owns a job. So think of things like a hairstylist. A hairstylist will not make money unless they're styling hair, unless they're cutting hair. Somebody who mows lawns will not make money unless they're out mowing the lawn, right? A person who is a real estate agent, realtor, will not make money unless they're selling a home. Now, they can have days and weeks and months even trying to get somebody to buy or sell a home, but the only day that they're truly, if you will, working for pay is the day they get to closing. All the rest of the time, they're unemployed, technically. They're not employed until they get another house in closing. And that's how that whole thing works. So I think you guys are getting the idea, right? A dentist, a doctor, whoever, they are all self-employed if they have their own practice, if they own their own business. If they're not working for a hospital. If they have their own business, they are self-employed because they do not have income coming in until they have a patient in the chair. And this is important. This is super important for everyone who's in the self-employment world. It is extremely difficult to create your own economy when you personally always have to show up. And this is such an important thing also when it comes to time and financial freedom. If you want true time and financial freedom, see, I know a lot of doctors that make a killing of money. But one thing they don't have time. They don't have the ability to go be able to do the things that they want to because they're working all hours of the day. They're getting up early. They're going to bed late. And so they may make a lot of money, but they don't have the ability to enjoy the time freedom. And so, guys, I'm just going to tell you this. I would rather make $10,000 a month residual income where it gives me time and financial freedom than work a self-employment where I'm making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, but have no time freedom. Because I would much rather be able to have the opportunity to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, however I want to do it, rather than being stuck to a facility or a location or something along that line. See, that's the beauty of residual income. That's what we've been talking about for such a long time on this podcast. That is the foundation of this podcast, is the fact of online businesses through residual income. But I think it's such an important thing of why you must understand why self-employment actually, I'm not going to say it's a trap, but it's kind of a trap. Residual income is a wonderful thing. And often we say, if you understand and if you taste residual income, you'll break through walls in order to get through it. So what is the difference between a self-employed person? Now, here's the bright side between a self-employed and a business owner is the fact that a self-employed person actually can make their self-employed job eventually turn into a business. They can do that. There's going to take some work, but here's the thing. I want to give you this little phrase here because I think this is going to be super helpful for you. A lot of people do not want to go through temporary instabilities for long-term stability. So in most cases, in order to make a self-employed job a true business, they're going to have to do different things that they're actually losing income first in order to manage, take that extra income and allot it to something over here or something over here in order to make that self-employed job to become a full business. But it can't happen. Not in all cases. Not all self-employed jobs can become businesses. There's just some that just won't, can't. There's no way that they possibly can. There's a lot of reasons why that might happen, but they just can't. But a doctor could, a hairstylist could, someone who mows lawns could, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of opportunity out there. You're just going to have to think outside the box of how can I make my self-employed job a business? Now, obviously, from somebody who's been talking about this for a long time, obviously I'm a big proponent of making online residual income businesses, not jobs. I am not a fan of a passive income nearly as much as what I'm a fan when it comes to residual income. I love passive income, but I love residual income. Such an important thing for you to understand the power of residual income and what residual income has to offer. So, with that being said, what is a business? What is it between a self-employed person and a business owner? There's a lot of self-employed people that say, well, I've got to go work on my business. I've got to go mow lawns. My business is I'm a dentist. My business is I'm a hairstylist. My business is, and I get what they're saying, but technicalities, they're really not a business owner. So what is the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner? Well, it's very simple. You ready for this? A business owner is somebody who owns a system. A system. That's important for you to understand. So if I were to ask you, what is McDonald's business? What is McDonald's business? A lot of you are probably going to say, well, McDonald's business is burgers and fries. And you'd be wrong because it's not burgers and fries. McDonald's business is actually real estate. Their system, however, how they generate the income is through the burgers and fries, but their business is actually real estate. They own more real estate than any private company or individual. So think about that. McDonald's business is actually real estate, but they take that real estate, they put a McDonald's franchise on that piece of property, and they churn money through burgers and fries. That's the system. So I want you to understand something. A true business owner is somebody who owns a system. And a system is something that eventually you can walk away, you can pull yourself away, that will continually to generate itself. Okay, that's important. It'll continually generate itself, but even also has the capability to grow, to scale, without necessarily you doing a whole lot of work. That is the difference between a business owner and a self-employed owner. It is all centered around a system that you put in place that eventually can be automated. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for automated systems. So let's just go back to the concept of a hairstylist or a person who landscapes or a doctor or something like that. How does one become a self-employed doctor to a business owner doctor? Or how does one become a self-employed hairstylist to a business or to a business owner hairstylist? And it's very simple. It really comes down to the structure, the infrastructure of what you're doing. If I'm a hairstylist and I want to build a business, what I do is I limit my hours, but then hire other hairstylists who work under my umbrella. Maybe it's Jason's hairstyle studio. And I hire other hairstylists who then, when all said and done, are my employees or my subcontractors who they own their self-employment, but I own a business. Okay. And that's how that whole system. What about a landscaper? Well, they hire employees. They hire someone to run the business, a manager, a general manager, something like that, where they, as the owner, step away. Same thing with the doctor. They put an umbrella business where eventually they hire other doctors and things like that who want to work underneath them. Now, you're saying, okay, that sounds great. I would like to do this, but I feel like there's a problem here. The problem is that if I start this business and I hire other hairstylists or other landscapers or other doctors underneath me, don't they have the potential to also go and build their own business and do the same thing that you're doing? The answer is yes. The answer is absolutely yes. That is one of the problems. A lot of times people in that self-employment world actually train their own replacement. And what I mean by replacement, I don't mean the owner of the company, by the fact that they train them to go build their own company over here. And ultimately what ends up happening is now they've just caused themselves heartache because now they created their own competition. So there's a different world. That's one of the reasons why I love online business, because in all my online businesses, I don't have an employee. I don't hire any employees. I might hire an assistant every once in a while, like a virtual assistant or something along that line. But ultimately, when all is said and done, I don't hire employees because I don't want people to be my competition. In fact, what I don't want is competition. But I try to build business systems that ultimately, when all is said and done, allow me to generate income and scalability without having to hire other people. So yes, it may be true that a lot of self-employed businesses have the opportunity to become a true business by developing a system, but there's also the reverse side of things where they might actually train their competition, train their replacement. So that's important. So what is a business? A business is a system. And that's one of the things, so on the online world, there's multiple different types of businesses, ones that I carry, have, own, whatever, a drop shipping, wholesale, affiliate marketing, e-courses, e-books, investing and things like that. I create a system that ultimately allows these businesses to reproduce themselves. Now, that might be through how the business structure is actually set up. It might be through a software program that automates a lot of different things. It might be through a virtual assistant that you're having run the business or whatever it might be. But there's a lot of ways that the online world. See, one of the things that I'm going to just encourage you, because I'm a residual income guy. This is where I focus on what my thoughts are. But a lot of people want to do the drop shipping world. And I know people who make a load of money, so you might be one of those drop shippers and you might get mad at what I'm going to say. But here's the deal. You have a lot of these drop shippers who build businesses around drop shipping. But one of the things they don't do is they don't set a course of exclusivity with their particular products. And so what they do is they keep going back to AliExpress and Alibaba, where there is no relationship between AliExpress and Alibaba and these other third-party companies like that. And so therefore, they have to keep going back every week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, finding new products to then drop ship. And then they get new competition for other people who are also going to Alibaba and AliExpress. So with that being said, I don't want to do that. I don't want to constantly do it because there's no residual income there. That's passive income, which is way better than linear income, but I'd rather have true residual income. So I try to find deals where I have exclusivity, a contractual agreement with exclusivity. That's important for me. It's important for you because if you want true time and financial freedom, that's the route that I encourage you guys to go to, is the concept of building systems, if it's drop shipping, contractual agreements for exclusivity. For those guys who are making lots of money, hey, I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you that you're making big money from drop shipping. But one of the things is unless you invest that money in some type of vehicle to create a system, you're going to have to go back ever so often and go find new products in order to start selling those and create a whole new drop shipping method or account or whatever it might be. There's lots of intricacies with that. But if you want to have that true time and financial freedom, a business system is where you want to be. This way you have that ability. And I'm just going to tell you something. You hear the phrases a lot of times. It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme. Guys, people don't get rich slow. Okay, they do, but here's the thing. You think of all these big heads in the world of business. You think of people like Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk. And yes, I know they've been around, but they were well-to-do very early in the stages of their creation of business. It wasn't 15, 20 years. I mean, they were well-to-do within a few years. And so it's important for you to understand within the world of residual income, let's just say you make $6,500 a month residual income. Well, guys, that's $80,000 a year that you're getting, and that's residual income. Could you retire off of $80,000? What if you double that? What if you make that $12,000 or $13,000? I'm pretty sure you'd be okay with that. I mean, think about how you can consistently scale. The average person in the world could retire off of $6,500 a month. What if it's residual income? So that ability to retire is way faster than if you do a passive, because the passive income, you have to keep going back and working for it. So, as you know, my mantra is residual income. My mantra is online residual income businesses. You can certainly go to I Teach Freedom. You're saying, Jason, I don't know how to do this. I know you kind of mentioned one with dropshipping, but I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure what to do. Well, go to iteachfreedom.com. Reach out to me. In fact, as soon as you click there, it'll ask you to fill out a quick questionnaire and say, hey, I would like to learn about different types of online business. There's not a sales pitch. There's just me teaching you how to do different types of businesses, what to look for, et cetera, et cetera. But let me know. Love to see it. But guys, the difference between a self-employed person and a business owner is the fact that the self-employed person does not have a business. They own a job, and that's so incredibly important for you all to understand. So, guys, I hope that was a help for you guys today. My name is Jason Kokenzie with Building Wealth Now. Go to I Teach Freedom. Don't forget to check out all the different links and descriptions down in the bottom as far as the different places you can follow me. One of the different places I want you to check out is ClubHouse, and you can find me there. And we're really going to start launching that here as well in 2021. You guys have a fantastic day. Look forward to chatting with you soon. Click that subscribe button.